Hey guys, it's Dustin. Today is March 31st, the last day of March, and I'm doing an update. It's been a little while since I did one, so I've been putting some videos on YouTube, but none of them actual updates on what's going on in here. So I'm going to show you guys. I've got this roller pair, and unfortunately I didn't mark down on the calendar when their eggs laid, so I don't remember exactly when they're supposed to hatch, but sometime here in the first week of April. So anytime now they could be hatching. This pair right here, the indigo roller cock paired to the ash red satinette, is due to hatch. I'm looking to see when they were laid. I hope I wrote it down. I'm over here looking at my calendar. You know, maybe I didn't write them down. This is why it's best to write it down, because now I'm not really sure. But they should be hatching soon, but I don't think they've hatched yet. No, I don't know. They're supposed to be hatching soon. This pair up here, this blue check pair, their babies are large and healthy. This one's doing pretty well. You can see it's getting pretty close to being able to be down on the floor. Sometime the next week probably, but this baby has a deformity. It's either a deformity or an injury, I'm really not sure which, in where it can't get its left leg up underneath it. It can't hold that leg forward. That leg is stuck backwards, and I'm really not sure what to do about it. I'm thinking I may wind up having to cull this one, and again, y'all know that culling is a last resort. It's not a way to get rid of pigeons you just don't want anymore, that you don't like feeding or anything like that. But this one actually has a leg deformity, and leg deformities are one of the worst deformities they can have. If something's wrong with their wings and they can't fly, as long as they can still walk around and all that, they can still have a decent quality of life. But when they can't walk, it makes it hard to fly because they can't really jump off of anything very well. Birds jump up using their legs before they take flight. They can't really do that when their legs are deformed. They can't walk very well because the way it's dragging itself around on its right leg on a wire, in a wire loft, that could cause it to get infected, which could kill it. In here on the pine shavings, it just can't get good traction on the pine shavings because it's driving with its deformed leg, which just winds up pushing pine shavings out behind itself. This particular bird's just always going around in a circle. Bentley is really hungry and wants to eat. Can I help you? Anyways, so I'm worried that I may have to call it, but hopefully not. Down here, this pair of babies is doing pretty well. I'm sorry, this Bentley is very ticklish, or tickling me. But they're doing just fine, nice and big. They're really light colored. They'll probably be blue bars. They're not too happy I'm messing with them. Hello. Hey there. Hey. What you doing? But they're doing pretty well. In a couple of weeks, I should have them down the floor. I don't remember exactly how old they are. I'm not sure why they're not sitting on them. This is the roller satinette pair. The eggs are still warm. They just got off of them. One of them did. Here comes the satinette hen back to sit on them. Hopefully to sit on them. I don't know. Y'all remember I had to take their babies away the first time because they were letting them they weren't even sitting on them in 20-degree weather. Actually, it was less than that. They didn't build a very good nest this time either. Swift up here, Swift and Coco, they're doing pretty well. They've got one egg underneath them, and their babies are down on the floor. Bentley is still messing with me. This pair of rollers right here, my indigo roller cock, the younger one, mated to the homozygous grizzle hen. I don't think they've laid yet. They haven't built much in the way of a nest. It feels like they're starting to add some nest material, but they haven't laid yet. These pigeons aren't too happy over here. Then this tiger grizzle roller hen right here, paired to this bald-headed roller cock. They've got 2 eggs now. They're incubating, doing pretty well. Down here with Ash and Minnie's nest, they've only got the one egg. If y'all remember, I stuck an old egg of theirs underneath there that was like 2.5-ish weeks old, just because I was curious as to whether it would actually be viable. And it wasn't, which I kind of expected, but I was just curious. Bentley's on my head now. I guess it's Bentley. Bentley's the only one that flies real well yet. Come here. But, then I've got a couple more babies of mine on the floor. This is the one that I thought was going to be a barless, but it actually does have a little bit of barring to it. It's just not very much. And here's Charles. This is actually their child. This one is. And he had to be hand raised. And he's starting to flap his wings more. I'm happy with that. Hopefully he'll be flying soon. He's starting to get a tail there, you see. He's still a little clumsy. Here's my ash red grizzle. Again, I didn't hand raise this one, so it doesn't like me nearly so much, but here you go, honey. Nice looking bird, coming about very well. Its sibling is right here somewhere. Where did it even go? Huh. You know, I don't see its sibling, because here's Bentley. There's Charles. There's it is. I don't know where it just came out from. Probably in a nest box something. But there's the other, so that one. This is its parents. And again, guys, remember when you see a bird like this kind of ruffled up, or especially down here towards the base of her tail, the feathers kind of sticking up, usually their tail's stuck down a little bit, they're usually fixing to lay. And I'm expecting her to. She should be laying her second egg anytime now. My white homer pair still appears to be paired up, even though they're so young. And I actually want to talk about them. I was in here in the loft yesterday night scraping down perches when something really interesting happened. One of them, I want to say it's that one. I think it was the hen. I wrote down its band number. It was over here near the babies. The babies were always kind of staying over here in this corner because the 3 eye rays are always waiting for me here at the door. And then the other 2 come over here with them. And so they're always over here waiting at the door. But this one of these white pigeons tends to stay pretty close to them. I think it's this one that's kind of down here with them now. And that doesn't seem odd. But last night while I was in here, the little grizzle one right here and its sibling, especially this one, were just pestering it, you know, nuzzling its face, wouldn't leave it alone, wanting to be fed. And I was surprised to see it start opening its mouth, and I was thinking, okay, that's kind of weird. But then it actually started feeding them, and I don't just mean it casually let them put their beak inside its beak. I mean, it was pumping its head back and forth, crop shaking. I mean, I don't have any definitive proof that it actually fed them, but it was certainly going through the motions, just like a parent bird. And I mean, it wasn't doing it daintily either. I mean, it was feeding them pretty good. It fed this one multiple times. I saw it feed the grizzle at least once. And I've heard of old cockbirds feeding babies before that weren't theirs, but I've never heard of a young pigeon. These are only 3 or 4 months old themselves. Probably somewhere around 3.5 months old. I don't remember exactly. So they've never laid. I saw them trying to mate not too long ago, so they seem to be maturing pretty rapidly. But still, the fact they've never even laid an egg, and they were over here feeding baby pigeons, I mean, they shouldn't even recognize these babies as their own. Hold on, guys, my camera's getting up to just about 10 minutes. Alright, sorry, y'all remember I have to turn my camera off and back on after 10 minutes or it shuts down, but yeah, so that's weird. I've never heard of that. So if anyone else has ever heard of that happening or seen it happening, feel free to leave a comment. I'd be interested to know. I'm not surprised by the fact that an old cockbird would do it, but that's the father of those 2 right there. They wanted to feed him. Feed them. I don't think he feeds them anymore, but they've not given up trying. But he might feed them a little bit. Those are his babies. But I've never heard of that. Again, they're only like 3.5 months old or so. So If y'all have ever heard of that happening, let me know. This black hen mated to the blue bar cock down here. Their eggs are, I've candled them and they're growing. And here's Bentley again, because he won't ever leave me alone. Alright. Come here, Bentley. Come here. Come here, Bentley. Come on. You know you want to come over here with me. Come on. This is one of the great things about having tame babies like this. I mean, I can take him outside the loft. He's not trap trained or anything, but I can let him be out here. I'll stick him out here on the landing board real quick because I'm holding the camera. And there go those are my non-breeders. I think I surprised them a little bit. Pigeons don't like surprises. But there's Bentley. Hey Bentley, come here. He probably won't fly down to me, but I'm trying to get him flying around a little bit. Go ahead and be strengthening up his muscles some. I've still got some decisions to make as far as flying them. I am going to be building a flying half of my loft that'll go right here, but until I actually do that, I may start putting my young ones, once they're old enough, out here into this loft. Take my satinet I'm not breeding, which I still haven't trap trained, and take my White King and my blue bar that doesn't fly well, his name's Steve, take him out of there, do something else with them, and then leave my two race birds that I'm not breeding in here, and start putting babies in there with them and start flying them, so I can go ahead and be getting their muscle strengthened up. Real training won't start until the end of the summer, after it starts cooling off some, but I need to go ahead and get them trap trained, get them flying around some. It's never too early to start training. I mean, just because they don't need to race until August is, I think, August, doesn't mean they can't go ahead and be being flown and their muscles trained. There's Steve up there. And there goes their bath pan. It's really light. I would recommend using something heavier for the bath pan. But here's Bentley up here. Come here, Bentley. Come on. Come here. I can get him. Come here. I'll tell him. Come here. There we go. But he'll just hang out with me. But that's another good thing I like about hand raising them. But I need to feed them now, refill some waters. But thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. I should be getting some of these guys trap trained soon, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. Take care.